Hello everybody and welcome to your next C# XNA platform and tutorial. So in this tutorial, hopefully we're going to be getting into like resetting the player's position and such. But yeah, we gotta look into a few things. So in the last tutorial, right before the end, we noticed that to view the file or the modified file, we had to go into our bin directory. The reason why is that when we created our files, we had to say copy the output directory. Well, when you run your program, the files ran aren't your original files; they're the copied files to the directory. So what we want to do is we want to change that. So we want to go to project properties, and let me zoom in here. So we go to project properties, and we will go to build, and let's just erase that there and just save it, and that'll be that. So now if we run this program again, and I really don't know what's happening with my splash screen, I'll have to check into that later, but I'll say yes to all, and if we see splash.cme, it's our original file is modified. Okay, so now let's just go to our screen manager again, change this back to our gameplay screen, and okay, so let's get started. So let's go to our player class, or what we're gonna do is let's go to our map, and or what we will do is, yeah, we'll go to our player class, and upon doing our load content and everything, what we're gonna do is we'll create a string for our attributes. So our attribute is gonna be equal to we'll say player position, and we'll say content is equal to our content is gonna be equal to our position x, so it's gonna be position x to string plus comma plus player position dot y to string. Okay, and we'll just say see content again. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, what we should actually do is we should make this, we can make this function static if we wanted to. Actually, you know what, we'll just create an instance of file manager. So create instance of file manager, and here we'll say file manager is equal to new file manager and dot save content. So the content we're gonna save it to is we're probably gonna move this to the actual map, the map.cs. But for now, we're just gonna put this to our regular map file. We put in our attribute in there, so we put in our content, and our identifier is equal to, do we have an identifier? Let's see. So we don't really have an identifier, so we can just put empty strings in there. Okay. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna store the player's position. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, so let's just test this to see if it actually works. So it says file not found. Load to, oh sorry, I put in the wrong directory. So it's load slash maps slash map1. Okay, so let's exit this, and let's see if it added it correctly. So it added our player position, and the player position was set at 0, 0. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is on collision, instead of our health being decreased, we can have a certain amount of lives or our health or whatever. But what we're gonna do is we're going to want to find that content, right? We wanna locate player position and reset our player to that position. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. So we're gonna say file manager dot load content, or actually we'll just add a new instance just to be safe, and we'll say file manager load content. So we're gonna have to load from load maps map 1, and we don't have an identifier. So what we're gonna do is just loop through this, and just like we normally do. So j is less than file manager attributes I.count, and we'll say switch file manager attributes ij. So we'll say case player position, then we'll set our position, we'll make a string split is equal to contents file manager contents ij dot split, and then we'll set position equal to new vector 2 split float dot parse split 0 float dot parse split 1, like so, and then we just add in a break in there. Okay, so once the player hits the enemy, then it should reset it to the default position. So let's see if that actually works. And yeah, it does work. So you might want to do something different with that, but what that's going to do, and what we need to do, another problem is that we noticed that it creates another one here. So what we would have to do in our file manager is actually parse to see if the thing is already in there, or if the attribute's already in there. So let's see if we can do that first. So yeah, we want to check if the attribute or any of that stuff is in there. So once we do this attribute stuff right here, then what we're gonna want to do, is let's see, we'll say if file list dot contains, and we'll put in attribute, or yeah, if it contains load equals plus attribute, then we'll just break. Or is there a break? No, we'll just if it okay, right here we'll put if not file contains. Okay, so let's see if this actually works properly. So if we go to our map1.cme, let's just get rid of, so we have this here. So let's run this again. So let's end this program. Let's see. So it didn't modify anything at all because it already contains it. So we just so that is, I'm just gonna end this tutorial here just because it's near 10 minutes. So in the next tutorial we're gonna be adding in a checkpoint. And just a hint, in case you guys want to go ahead, what we're going to do is when we hit a checkpoint, it's going to modify this player position. So when we hit an enemy, we appear at the checkpoint. So it should be relatively easy. See if you guys can do it before the tutorial, and I'll show you how I do it. And so I'm going to end this tutorial here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.